Have you ever wondered how someone can transform so much pain into strength? Imagine being torn from your world, unjustly accused, and forced to fight not only against external enemies, but also against your own inner demons. Today, we dive into the mind of Naofumi Iwatani, the legendary shield hero, and unravel the intricacies of his psychology, exploring what makes him such a fascinating character. When Naofumi is summoned to another world, everything seems like an adventure until betrayal occurs. From an innocent, hopeful young man, he is suddenly marked by distrust, loneliness, and an overwhelming weight of accusations. This brutal twist in his story is the starting point for a transformation that goes far beyond acquiring powers or facing monsters. It is, above all, about human resilience, about how pain can become the fuel necessary for overcoming and redemption. In the beginning, Naofumi represents the archetype of the reluctant hero. He did not choose to be the shield hero. Fate imposed this role on him in a cruel way. And, unlike other heroes who wield swords or bows, Naofumi carries a shield, a symbol that on one hand represents protection, but on the other becomes both a burden and an emotional shield. This object, which was meant to safeguard him, ends up marking his vulnerability, constantly reminding him of the injustices he suffered. But what really goes on in this hero's mind? Naofumi's psychology is a mix of repressed anger, relentless determination, and a thirst for justice bordering on obsession. He lives in a constant state of alert, where every gesture or word can be interpreted as yet another betrayal. This constant distrust, fueled by loneliness, forces him to build an internal fortress, a barrier against a world that rejected him. It is as if, to survive, he must become both his own weapon and his own protection. Naofumi is not a one-dimensional character. His evolution goes from overwhelming innocence to a maturity marked by deep emotional scars. Every hardship, every affront, forces him to rethink his beliefs and redefine his own limits. He learns, the hard way, that trusting is a luxury he cannot afford, yet paradoxically, his lack of trust prevents him from forming true relationships. This paradox is at the heart of his personality. He longs for connection, but fears being betrayed again. Throughout the series, we are presented with moments that reveal not only his undeniable physical strength, but also his emotional resilience. Amid epic battles, there are moments of introspection, in which Naofumi finds himself alone, confronting his own thoughts and questioning whether the path he chose is truly the right one. It is in these moments that we realize how much he carries in his heart: the pain of false accusations, the feeling of abandonment, and, above all, the inner struggle to not let bitterness consume him. This journey of self-discovery and redemption is built through small details that accumulate throughout the narrative. It might be a furtive glance when recalling the past, a pause before making a difficult decision, or even the way he treats those who still dare to trust him. Every gesture and every word forms a complex puzzle that is Naofumi's mind. And it is precisely at this point that his psychology becomes so interesting. He is not a perfect hero. On the contrary, he is profoundly human. His mistakes, his hesitations, and even his moments of weakness make him relatable. How many times have we felt betrayed by fate, forced to raise defenses, and carry a weight that seems unbearable? Naofumi reflects that reality, showing that even in the face of adversity, it is possible to find a way to move forward, even if that means sacrificing part of oneself. Another striking aspect is the way he deals with justice. After being unjustly accused, justice becomes an incessant pursuit for him. He begins to question not only the system that condemned him, but also his own values. This duality, the need for justice and the fear of being vulnerable, creates an internal conflict that permeates all his actions. In many scenes, we see Naofumi fighting not only against external enemies, but against the very feeling of impotence and anger that insists on dominating him. Through his interactions with other characters, we also perceive the hidden layers behind his hardened facade. There are moments when, lowering his guard, he shows a sincere desire to be understood and to find support. This vulnerability, though rare, is precisely what makes him so authentic and complex. He is a hero who does not impose himself as an example, but who, in the midst of adversity, reveals his fragilities, reminding us that sometimes true strength lies in recognizing our own limits. The analysis of Naofumi invites us to reflect on how traumatic experiences can shape a person's personality. Pain, when not processed, can transform someone into a distrustful individual, but it can also be the spark that drives the quest for truth and justice. In his case, this transformation is visceral and, at the same time, inspiring. He shows us that even when the world seems to conspire against us, it is possible to find within oneself an inexhaustible source of determination and courage. If we pay close attention, we will notice that Naofumi's shield, besides being a physical weapon, symbolizes that emotional protection he needs to build in order to safeguard himself. Throughout his journey, he learns that true defense is not about completely isolating oneself, but about finding a balance between protecting oneself and allowing oneself to feel. This lesson, as painful as it may be, is one of the reasons his story resonates so deeply with the audience. As we follow Naofumi's journey, we are invited to look within ourselves. Is it possible that, in the face of adversity, we also end up closing ourselves off in our own defenses? Do we not, at some point, become so protected that we lose the ability to trust? These questions are silently raised by the character, present in every decision and every suspicious glance. In the end, the mind behind Naofumi is a true mosaic of emotions, fears, hopes, and scars. It is the story of someone who, even when placed against all odds, decides to fight not only for his own redemption, but also to demonstrate that pain can be transformed into strength. He reminds us that heroes are not made of perfection, but have overcome imperfections, faced vulnerabilities, and, above all, an unwavering will to move forward. And so, after all this, can you imagine what truly drives Naofumi to keep fighting, even when the world seems to crumble around him?